Today we're making 2 cards, and I found these little images of this girl, and she's ice skating here, and then she's drinking a cup of hot cocoa here, and then her little dog. And so I thought I would try to make 2 different cards with her. And I'm going to put a link below where I purchased this digital file, and the link is an affiliate link, and so if you click through and use my affiliate link, it will help me a little bit, but it won't cost you any extra to do so. And I found lately that I'm really loving digital files, so I thought I would try and make another little card with one. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the first one, the little girl has skates on, ice skates on, so I want to make a card with her ice skating. So I'm just using white cardstock here, nothing special about it, and then I'm going to use an inexpensive watercolor brush and some inexpensive watercolors. Just some basic watercolor that I got from Michael's. And so what we're going to start out by doing is we're just going to add a little bit more water to it. We're just going to start adding a little color. It's okay if it gets on there, it'll dry. We're just going to start adding down here near the bottom, and start swirling around, just making a pond. And that's just all we want to do. Is I'm using a little darker blue and lighter blue as I do this. And just swirling around, making just a little pond for our girl to stand on, to be skating on. We add a little bit more water to it so we can move the paint around. That's what we want to just get the paint moving. Let's add a little bit more watercolor here. And you don't want it all to be the same shade. You do want lighter and darker areas, and just a little contrast in the colors there. Because if it's all the same color, it doesn't look as good. So I'm just lightly, I kind of want to have, let me see, get a little bit of, just around, going further out this way with it. You're just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be a specific size or shape, just so you get it where it's good to your eye, how you like it. And I've just got my little pond going off the page here. And I think that's good right there. I'm just swirling it around. I'm trying to just swirl it like they've been skating around, how the ice would look if they've been skating around on the pond. Okay, so then let me get that dry, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so the paper's curled up a little bit, but I think it'll be fine once we glue it down. So now what we want to do is we are going to stamp our snowflakes. So I'm using this stamp that has multiple snowflakes on it. But if you just have, if you want to just use a little snowflake stamp, just to stamp individually all over, you could do that as well. Or use various size stamps of snowflakes. I'm going to start down here because I want some snowflakes on my pond as well. That looks good. And let me see if I can add some right here. And I totally forgot to put a paper under there. So let me wipe this off and put a piece of scrap paper underneath. And this is just a piece of scrap I've been stamping off on. And let's stamp again. And I'm going to start over here and get that look there. And then we'll just stamp right here. And then over in that little upper corner I need a little bit. And I'm just going to make a little faded down here and over here. So it's just not too much standing out. Okay. And now, make sure that's dry. We want to just add our little girl and her little dog to the pond. Let's see how that looks. And then we're going to put our little sentiment up in here. But I'm going to do the sentiments last because I want to use my stamping, I forget what you call this, but use my Tim Holtz stamping block to stamp the sentiments, because I have a hard time getting wording straight. So I find if I can use something like that, it would be easier. So now I want to go ahead and just add the girl and her dog to this. And then once we finish the other card, we'll add the sentiments to both at the same time so that I can just pull that out one time. And we'll just have them both completed at the end. So I'm just going to add her here. Make sure I got her lowered up, down, and over. And then just a oops. Get this little glue right here so it don't come loose. And now we'll add him to the card as well. I'll just put him right there. There we go. So we'll come back to this card in just a few moments and we'll add our sentiment. Okay, so then the next card we are making, for this one, I will need my scrap paper for sure. We are going to be making a little snowbank. So what we're doing with this one is we are going to be using, I just tore this piece of paper to use as my snowbank, and then I'm deciding where I want everything to be, and I'm trying to see here if I like it more, maybe more like, I'm thinking maybe further down, like right in here. And I'm trying to figure out this humps, where I like the little humps. And so we're going to take our ink, and I think these are really made for, these little pads are made for alcohol inks, but I find that it works for this too. I'm going to just stamp off a little bit. I'm just going to rub it in. So we're just adding the ink so that, and we're using the stencil because it's going to leave a little shadow for the mounds of snow. I just want to move this around for the sky. And just get this like we wanted, the sky blue. And I'm lightly touching the ink pad because I don't want a lot of ink. I don't want it really dark on here. So I'm just trying to do it lightly. Trying to fill in where there's too much white. That might have been a bit too much there. We'll see when we get done. Okay. Okay, so there's our little snowbank. And now we're going to add our snowflakes. Just going to stamp off at different places and just varying where they're at. Doesn't have to be any certain pattern. I'm just kind of seeing where I like them. And I'm not totally sure. I'm just having to see what looks good to my eye. So I think that's pretty good. And even though that was darker, it's swirling around. It's kind of like a little snowstorm, you know, it swirls around. So let's take the little girl and just put her here and here and see how that looks. And I think she looks better right here, so we'll put her right there. and then right here. And then we're going to be putting our cinnamon right on the bottom. Actually, it's going to go across the bottom here. So I'll glue them on. Actually, I'm going to put the cinnamon on this one first before gluing it on because of where it has to place it. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's pull this out. Close up my ink so I don't get them everywhere. And this card looks a little different from what you just previously saw me make, and that is because when I started to stamp the other one, my stamp came loose from the stamp block, fell on it, and ruined the whole piece. I don't know if I still have it here where I can show you. So what I realized right here, so you can see it messed it up, but so I decided I just made another page, and then what I realized was that my the back of my stamp had gotten really dirty, and so I guess dirty, got dusty or something, and so it wasn't sticking good. So I went and washed it off with just a little bit of water, and now it's really sticky. So let's try this again. If it falls again, then the stamp goes in the trash. But but I don't think it's going to. I actually think that it was my fault because it had been laying on my station for quite a few weeks, and it's probably just gotten dust, and it may have gotten actually you know, different things where I'm working with different powders and stuff over here. The embossing powder stuff, I don't know if that can get on it and make it dusty like, but you know, it just, things just sitting like that and it wasn't put away. So that's, I think that's why it got like that. So it feels stickier, so we're going to try it and see what happens. Just trying to line it up, and like I said before, one of my hardest things is stamping sentiments, trying to get them straight, the wording straight. So hopefully this is going to work for me. Just going to wipe off this board, and then I'm just going to lay it down and press, and let's see what it did. That looks really good. I'm going to add just a little bit more ink because I missed a few spots there, it looks like. Let's see, hopefully I don't mess it up. Thankfully this background is a really quick technique to do, and so even when it did mess up, it didn't take me but just a minute or two to do it. And oh, that looks great. And the thing of it is, it didn't take long for me to make another one. So these are something like you could do if you were making a lot of the same cards. You could make up these backgrounds and make up a bunch of these backgrounds, and then just stamp your sentiments over and over, and you could just do them in kind of a production line, assembly line kind of way. So now we have that one. That turned out really good now, and we'll add a little girl to it later. And so now this one, and I'm wondering with this one, did I add too many snowflakes? I'm not sure. Let's see how it turns out. The one I made before, I used lighter snowflakes, but I really like this new ink I got, so I wanted to use it. But now I'm wondering if I made the best decision in using this turquoise ink. So let me line that up. It's hard to see this one, and if this one's round with some straight words in the center, so it is harder for me to, let me see, if I put it on this grid, does it look fairly straight? Yes, I think it does. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a Christmas card, and it is kind of whimsical card too, with the little girl and her dog. It's not a serious card. So I like to wipe this off just in case I push down too hard. So now, let me press it. Let's see what happened. Oh, that looks good. I think I might add just a little bit more. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Add just a little bit more. And press. And there, oh, that looks good. So there we have our Merry and Bright on this one. So now we're going to add them both to, let me take this off. Oops, sorry for that loud noise. Now we're going to add them both to their card base, but I thought I would show you one I made earlier using a lighter ink, so you can decide for yourself which one you like better, but I'm not seeing it. Here's one, here it is, here's the one with that one I made using a lighter snowflakes in the background, and that might be a little better, but this one I do like the turquoise. Okay, so let's see what we're doing now. Let's add this little girl and her dog to this one. Okay. And she's just going to sit right there. And she overlaps the Mary just a little. And then I'm going to add the little dog. Just going to put him right here with her. And there we have that one. So now we'll just add them to our card bases. And I'm using kind of a turquoisey color, just like the ink I used on this one, so it kind of matches. And I pulled those colors really from her clothing. She's got a lot of turquoise in her clothing, so I thought that that looked good together. Just got to center it up on the card. Okay. And then, make sure there's no glue on that. Okay, and then we got this card base, and let me pull another one of these blue ones. And we're going to just glue this one onto the same. And like I said in another video, I'm very new to using digital files instead of stamps. But I've found that I really like using them because I can resize them on the computer, whatever size I want. So if I want to make a larger card, I could just make the girl and her dog larger. If I wanted to make a smaller card, I could make them smaller. And so that's what I really like about using the digital files, is that I can size them, whereas with stamps you really cannot size them. And the other plus that I'm finding is for stamps, sometimes you can buy dies to go with them where you can cut them out, but a lot of times you can't. And so that gets a little tricky because you're either going to have to fussy cut, or you've got to have some sort of scan and cut machine, which I don't think mine does the scan and cut. I think it's old enough that it doesn't. So let me find the cap to this glue. And so which one is your favorite? I really think this one is my favorite of the two cards, but I think they both are cute. I really like this little girl, the image of this little girl, and she's with her little curly hair, and she just looks so happy. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, and if you would like to see when I do upload more videos, just hit the subscribe button and then the little bell so that it notifies you each time I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.